For many of you, the engraving support is about to run out on this event. 11:15 is the deadline, which is the next update. So I'm going to teach you how to do it in this guide. Let's go ahead, jump into it. The first step in accomplishing this is planning. You have to plan this out, guys. Do not just try to buy accessories willy-nilly. Get your Excel sheet, download one. There's a couple links online as well to pre-plan these types of things, but it is very important. And of course, this will depend on how much gold you're willing to spend on this person. If you're trying to get a 5x3+1, if you're just trying to get a 5x3, if it's an alt, if it's a main, all those things go into account because of course accessory prices change drastically, exponentially even, as you go up in quality. And I actually do have a video on how to go about building a 5x3 or 5x3+1 build already. So if you'd like, you can go watch that too. After you know what you want to do with this character, whether you want to build a 5x3, 5x3+1, whatever it may be, you can start planning. For this person, my Wind Fury Aeromancer, I decided I only want to build her 5x3. She's not going to be a main. I don't want to spend too much gold. I want to try to build her a solid build, but spend less than 15 or 20,000 gold. Now, if you are going for a 5x3, you only need one legendary book. You do not have to have 2 gold books to accomplish this if you are 1540, because that gives you access to ancient accessories with a +6 and a +3 engraving on them. If you're below 1540, to get 5x3, you are going to have 2 legendary books or a very good stone roll, and that's likely not going to happen, so we're not going to plan on that. And the first thing you need to do is roll your stone. As you can see here, there's a place for this stone. Do not buy your accessories until you roll your stone, because that is the biggest RNG part of this entire process, and you want to get that out of the way. You'll likely want to get at least a 6/6 stone. Anything under that, it makes it pretty difficult to build a 5x3 or 5x3+1. So I would go for at least a 6/6 stone. Anything you get above 6/6 is great. That means you can have less engravings on accessories, which means cheaper accessories and higher qualities. Once you have your stone rolled and it's at least a 6/6, you can start planning out your books. Going forward, especially as a newer player, what I would recommend you do in terms of buying legendary books or investing into legendary books is to buy a very common combat engraving for the characters that you're going to play. If you're playing mostly DPS characters, which is most people in the game, then you're likely going to be going with Grudge, King Blunt Weapon, Adrenaline, Raid Captain, something like that. Grudge is going to be used on literally every single DPS character. That's why most people have bought Grudge. I bought Grudge on my main account. I use it in all my builds. The problem with buying Adrenaline, King Blunt, Raid Captain is that not every class engraving is going to use them. So you might save a little bit of money initially, but then you might be out of luck if you decide to play a DPS class that doesn't use a Raid Captain, Adrenaline, King Blunt. So this is my combat engraving of choice. Now, for Wind Fury, these legendary books are like 8,000 per legendary book. I'm not about to spend 160k just to have this at 12 points. It's unnecessary. You're going to save way more gold by using this at 9 and buying a couple of ancient accessories instead. Now, once we have the books sorted out and we know which books we're going to use, we can fill out the rest of these boxes. You have to get 15 in each box. Whoops. And that will equal a 5x3. All right, guys, so the first accessories you need to worry about when you're hunting on the auction house are the class accessories. And what I would do is go to the auction house, look at the accessories, click them on all, set it to relic, then put your class engraving in here, which mine is Wind Fury, and I put 3 and 3 here because I don't want any +5 accessories. I just want a +3 on this accessory. I went Swift Crit for this build, so I can do Swiftness or Crit, which is really nice. I'm gonna go ahead and search Swiftness. So I can go ahead and search these and see if there's any accessories that have a secondary engraving that I need. For example, like Adrenaline. I do need Adrenaline, but unfortunately it's +3. So you're just gonna keep going through this and see if there's any that you need. So we found one right here. There's a Wind Fury 3, Grudge 5. That is fantastic. So we'll go ahead, put a pin on it. That way you can go up to your interest list and it's in that interest list. You don't have to, go back and forth and search for it. So now that we have this accessory, we can go back to here. We can go ahead and put this in here, and you can just hit a little asterisk right there. That's what I do, just to signify that yes, I found one, it's in the interest list. And also, while you're at it, check the malice on there. So mine is attack speed reduction 3. So go ahead and mark that down for that particular accessory. You can do attack speed 3. So now you know that's the negative part of this accessory. So when you're looking through these other accessories, you already know that maybe you don't want to get another attack speed 3 accessory because that's going to push you over. You want to try to get no negatives at all, no reds on your engravings with your 5x3. So here's another one, Wind Fury 3, Hitmaster 5. Boom. We can actually mark that down, and this is very similar to the one that I bought as well. I have a 3.5 with Hitmaster, and we can look at the malice on this, and it is attack power reduction 1. Make sure hit the pin so it pins to the interest list, and then we can go down here, go to attack power 1. That way we know it's a negative for attack power. Also, you should do this for your stone. Mine has a defense reduction 4. So now that I have the both class accessories here, now I can start looking for these other 3 accessories that I need: the necklace, 1 earring, and 1 ring. Just as a sidebar here, usually when you're making this already won't be filled in. It will be blank, and then you will start with your class accessories and fill them in as you get your 2 class accessories or your 1 class accessory, depending on your book's status, and then you will fill in the rest. So it's not usually going to be filled in quite like mine was, like this. And I do want to give you a couple tips at this point, because we're having to fill in Grudge, Raid Captain, Adrenaline, and Hitmaster, and those are pretty common engravings, so they might be expensive. When you're searching for these accessories and combining these engravings onto your accessories, before you even search, try to make sure that you're not doing these 2 things. Number 1, your stat that you're looking for on your accessory, for example, spec, crit, swift, whatever it is, does not directly synergize with the engraving. For example, Raid Captain benefits from swiftness, so you don't want to look for a Raid Captain engraving on a swiftness accessory. That's automatically going to make that more expensive. This is why on my ring for my Raid Captain Adrenaline, I actually went with crit because it was a little bit cheaper that way. Also, something you don't want to do is you don't want to put 2 accessories that directly synergize with each other, like Keen Blunt and Adrenaline. Keen Blunt quite literally benefits directly from crit rate, and Adrenaline gives you crit rate. So Keen Blunt Adrenaline accessories are almost always going to be more expensive than when they're separated. As I went through here, these were the cheapest combinations of accessories that I could find. Don't just fill these in and then go for it and buy it regardless. Experiment around a little bit with the rest of the accessories that you need to buy to see which ones are going to be cheaper, and you're going to save a lot of gold that way. This is what I found to be the cheapest. That's why I went with this, and all in all I spent less than 10k. These are very mid quality accessories. They're nothing crazy. Now I did make a grave error when I built this. I actually bought 3 earrings when one of these was supposed to be a ring, so I had to go back and buy the ring. This was a grave mistake. Make sure you always double check everything you're doing. And so I ended up having to buy a ring, and I actually have a move speed reduction 1, but she moves around so quick that I can still cap out her move speed whenever I'm doing her attacks, so it really doesn't affect it at all. It's a no diff, and I was still able to buy everything for less than 10k. She's an alt, so I'm not super concerned with it. And also a good rule of thumb is to consider what you're using this character for. Just like I said in the beginning of this video, it does depend. I am not going to have any more fun on this character if I would have had 90 quality accessories or 100 quality accessories. My fun level is not going to go up from that. I enjoy playing this class because of her skills and her play style, and that's fun to me, but I'm not going to have more fun just because she has better quality accessories. So always keep into account what you're actually using this character for, and this directly translates into my Glavier, which is my main. She's of course 1613. I'm going to get to 1620 before next month. Let's go, baby. I've got 1830 spec, which is pretty good spec. It's almost max. I've got pretty good crit rate. As you can see, all my accessories are very high purples or a 100 quality accessory. So I spent around 150k or so on her accessories over time, with a 5x3+1 along with no negatives, and of course she has 2 legendary books to accomplish this with. This is my main. I want to invest in her. I want to see the biggest numbers that I can. She pumps and I want to see it. So of course, me spending more gold on higher quality accessories makes sense for me. I'm going to be playing her probably forever. She is and has been my main since she came out. So this is a character that I really invest in. And this is actually the only character that I play that I've invested in this way. Every other class that I play has middle of the road good builds because I still want to enjoy the character, the class engraving, but I don't want to put out a fortune just to do so. And you don't have to either. So I hope this guide helped you out a little bit in the mindset of creating your own 5x3 or 5x3+1 build. And if you want to see another few examples of this, you can go watch the video I made a few months ago. I have 3 or 4 examples in that video as well. And if you have any questions whatsoever or comments, please let me know down below. I'd love to help you. Or you could join the community Discord. There's so many helpful and positive people in there. You can DM me from there and ask what you should do. Whatever it may be, I'd love to help you out. And as soon as the balance patch update comes out, I'm going to be doing this several more times because I have to build a couple more people with the insane rework. So if you want to watch that live, then you can come watch me on Twitch or you can watch me on YouTube. I stream to both platforms. Guys, that is everything for this video, and I will see you on the next one. I hope you have a fantastic day and good luck with all of your accessories.